Yo, what's good? It's me, your guy, all the way from Bedside Habo, and we're back here again with another fantastic episode of the Art Block, featuring none other than our good sis, Morgan Basant. How you doing, Morgan?
I'm doing good. How you been?
I'm doing all right. I'm loving the fit, the outfit. You look like you practice fire magic outside when no one's watching.
Oh, jeez.
You got what's that
Fine,
9?
man.
What's that right there? That badge.
Oh, 9. This is a 9 from the ninth ward.
Oh, the
That's
ninth
where I'm from.
ward. Okay, okay, representing. I like that. See, people
Mm-hmm.
get upset. It's so funny because people get upset when you talk about where you're from. They be, especially like for me, because I've seen your experiences too. But it's like I'll say I'm from New York or we got this, we got that, and everybody be like, "Shut up!" And it's like, "Yo, all I'm doing is just saying like I like where I'm from and I'm proud to be where I'm from." Do you ever experience that when you talk about stuff like just online or even in person with other people?
That is a constant in my life, especially like being from New Orleans. Like a lot of people, I guess they feel like if you say you're proud of being from New Orleans, they feel like, well, you just don't like the rest of the state. Like, why can't you just claim that you're from Louisiana? Because you like you trying to separate yourself. But it's just like, I mean, that's where I'm from, and that shapes my life, that shapes my culture, that just shapes who I am. And there's no shame in being proud of it. I think everybody should have some pride in where they're from and the things that drive them and the things that motivate them to do what they do.
Absolutely. And it's funny, and kind of ironic. I'd also say it's a blessing that you this whole time have been from New Orleans or Nolens, however you want me to say it. Don't hurt me. Because we recently had a major
Mhm.
event happen here in America that took place in your city, the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl.
Um,
All the way down there where they had the beignets and the
oh,
what else y'all
here we
got
go
down there?
accent.
What accent? That's just how I talk. That's just
Ah!
how I talk. But no, I really didn't care for the game. Like for me personally, at this point, I'm more focused on like the halftime show, and whoever's performing. Like the last few years has been like all black. We've had Dr. Dre, we've had not Bruno Mars. What's that man name? The Weeknd, and I think Usher was last year. Usher was last year. So we've had like the blackety black Super Bowl halftime show for like 5 years straight, and I love it. I think it's great. And there have been a lot of people talking about it online, and I'm sure you've seen some clips. But before we get into that, I know you are more excited about specifically the pregame show that a lot of people missed, and I haven't seen
Yeah.
too many people talk about. So I want to give you the floor to talk about the pregame, why you're excited about it, and why you think other people should watch that segment of the event.
So the pregame show was really like a love letter to New Orleans and even just Louisiana culture in general. And it really shined a light on the people that shape the culture because a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the things that make Louisiana culture what it is are the people of African descent, like the descendants of the people that were brought here, the enslaved Africans were the ones that shaped everything that made Louisiana what it is. Like people think of the food, like they think of gumbo, they think of jambalaya, they think of dirty rice, they think of second lines, they think of jazz music, and people don't always give credit where credit is due. And I thought that it was in such good taste that they actually brought the people who are responsible for the culture to the forefront to be able to perform and put this on to show people what makes New Orleans and Louisiana as a whole beautiful. And on top of that, I really appreciated how they kind of utilized the talents of the human jukebox. I know you kind of heard me mention it before, but that's the marching band of Southern University. Their flagship school is in Baton Rouge, but they have multiple campuses across the state of Louisiana, and they do have a campus here in New Orleans. But the Human Jukebox is their band, and they are known to be one of the best marching bands in the country. And I just thought there was such a beautiful opportunity for them to be able to come forward and not only show their talents to the world and on such a large stage, but they also were able to showcase the things that New Orleans itself is known for. Like they were able to highlight a lot of our music styles, and then they were able to perform alongside some of the older bands, like some of the brass bands that were there, and even I don't think I showed you this portion of it because I think it kept getting cut off. But at the end of the performance, they had some of the Mardi Gras Indians, which is another thing that we're known for, come forward and they danced on stage with the performers. And I just thought that that was just so beautiful. I don't think we've ever seen that level of respect on such a large scale before. Like everything else you kind of see when it's representing New Orleans is always kind of like gimmicky and stereotypical, and the accents aren't quite right, and they don't exactly get it on the nose. So I really appreciated that they had people that actually are from the culture to show the culture and show who we really are. And so that was like my favorite part of the whole thing. I was like, it was already nice that it was like such a black event, but having black Louisiana Creoles put on such a fantastic show and just kind of, doing us justice was just the highlight of the whole game for me.
Yeah, honestly, what I feel for New Orleans, I don't feel for any other state. And trust me, I love my city. I love where I'm from. But there's such a an intrinsically different feel and aesthetic that you get from New Orleans than you get anywhere else. Like just the blackness, the culture, and how y'all represent one another and how y'all represent your city. I didn't get to see the whole entire pregame, but I did get to see a little bit of it, and I really appreciated. What I appreciated the most was your continued promotion of it, because everybody was talking about Kendrick, right? Rightfully so, because that was the main event.
Hmm.
However, the other parts of it were just as important, right? Like this is the city that's hosting one of the biggest games in the country, the biggest event in the country. So it's like, yeah, y'all got to show up, y'all got to show out, y'all got to put on for the city, y'all got to make sure you're making a name for yourself. Oh, that sounded like Gambit. My bad. I wasn't even trying. I just like that clicked in my
Oh
head.
my
That
God.
clicked in my head. But no, like I just
No,
feel like it's
uh,
it's such a wonderful thing to experience through you as someone that is as a native of New Orleans, as a person that is from the culture and just like really deep within it. Because there are some people who live at places and they don't really care. So I love that you're always
mhm.
just like rooting for everything that's going on down there, and I have a deeper appreciation because of you due to that.
Well, I'm so glad that I could, give you a deeper insight of the culture. That's
Yeah.
always what I want to do.
So basically, what I'm saying, everybody go to Morgan and ask her everything about New Orleans and Louisiana and all that stuff because she's ready. You have to pay her at least $50 per hour for the sessions. She's not going to
Wait a
fortune
minute.
tell. She's not going to fortune tell for you. She's not Miss Cleo. She does not have a pet alligator. She's not going to do the Gambit voice for you. So don't ask her that. But everything else is fine. $50 an hour. All right, starting today. Reach out on Instagram.
Okay.
Uh, um,
I appreciate the promotion.
no, but I just thought it was just beautiful. Also, I love your colors. I love the color scheme that y'all have, like the purple and the gold and all of that. Like I just love how beautiful it just everything just looks aesthetically. And I think that was the perfect place for Kendrick to be, honestly. Um and speaking of that, a lot of people have been talking about it. It's been a week now. At this point, it's been a week. A lot of people have been
Mhm.
talking about it. White people, black people, everybody in between. Think pieces everywhere, super analysis everywhere. People that love it, people that hate it. And I'm not here to get too deep on it because there's a lot of stuff that we want to talk about. But I do want to say that I appreciate the artistry that Kendrick brings to his performances, that he brings to his albums, that he brings to his music in general, because he's not just a rapper. He's not just someone that's just getting on to make music and make money. He actually wants to create art, bring back the art form of what rap is. And I think that was heavily showcased throughout the entire performance that we saw last Sunday. That maybe some people didn't understand, and that's fine. Not everybody's going to get what you put out, and that's just for any artist. I mean, I believe there's a quote from David Lynch, may he rest in peace, that says like they were like on an interview and they asked him, "Can you explain that?" He was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." you know. But from the clips that you saw, what did you feel? What did you think?
I think it was pretty apparent what you were saying. Like he's trying to make it bring more of the artistry back to it, and it just based on what I saw, everything kind of seemed to have more of a deeper meaning, and he was really just trying to push the deeper message of the importance of Black culture, and I guess I would kind of say like how we are viewed and we're treated in America as a whole. And that's essentially just what I got of it. I mean, like I already said, that wasn't necessarily the highlight of what I was watching because I was stuck watching that
We
pregame
know, we know.
11 times. But I mean, I think kind of what he brought to it was very appreciated. Some of the stuff I kind of wasn't expecting with, like the Uncle Sam stuff in the beginning. It was, that was really different, and I thought that there was, it really did kind of push the message and kind of drive it home. Like America just saying, "Black people, stop being black because it's ghetto and it's loud. Please, con- you know, conform and do what we want you to do and what makes us
I
comfortable."
also like the
And
double entendre though, because if you remember years ago, Sam Jackson played Uncle Tom character in Django Unchained. So I don't know if Kendrick did that on purpose, but I thought that was kind of cool that he played that and also played Uncle Sam years later at the Super Bowl.
yeah, a lot of people kept bringing that up too. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, he's playing a character on Django again."
Well, not. I don't think, and I'm kind of upset that people took that so literally because that character and
Yeah.
Uncle Sam are completely different. Where Uncle Sam is more of a character based on America. The Uncle Sam character himself was a propaganda tool used to recruit people to the army. You know, you used to see those posters all
Yeah.
the time where he's like, you got that big hat on, he pointing down at you like, I want you to join the army, Negro. You know, he probably said the ER though. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna bleep
I'm
that.
sure.
I'm gonna bleep that later because YouTube might, they fickle sometimes. But I like that motif. I also liked a lot of the choreography that if you zoom out from it, you see a lot of different things going on that a lot of people pointed out online. There was one thing where there was one moment where they all kind of like collapsed and then there was a circle made around one person who was standing in the middle and I was like, oh, could this mean like one person left alive, one person standing against everything? So many different things can be interpreted, and I think that's the beauty of what art is. Like, I don't think there's any one right or wrong way to see something. There are some people who are definitely wrong, you know, and those are the races that were mad. Like, who is Kendrick Lamar? Who's Za?
Oh,
I've never
Jesus.
heard of that before. Get this off my TV and get back to the game. You know, it's
Yeah. We saw a lot of that. Um, Sometimes the little Facebook pages get a little
you need to get off Facebook.
upset.
Listen, Facebook
Sir, I'm
ended.
using that for something.
Use well, I don't know what you're using it for, but you gotta find an alternative. Facebook died in
An alternative.
2010. Okay.
I got classmates and stuff
Well,
on.
tell them to get on Discord. Tell them to
I don't,
get their phone
I
numbers.
don't, I don't want to.
Call them. Go see them. Get off the
Okay.
screen. Get,
They
tell.
they're far away.
Oh well, tell them to get on a plane. We'll get Zuckerberg to pay for it. Why did I just get an
Oh,
achievement in the app? That's so weird. That's new.
yeah, it's because you had Morgan on 3 times.
No, I'm talking about
Ooh,
here on Magma. It says I did
what is
150.
magma?
What we're drawing on. The thing we've been
Yeah,
drawing on the
well,
whole time.
you've had me on here 3 times
Oh my
on
god.
magma.
You just want an award. You just want a trophy. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Yay!
Not the yay. But yeah, I think what we saw at the Super Bowl, we won't see again, especially with what's happening in our country. I think this is the last year we'll even have a Black History Month. I know that's a joke, but I feel like there's going to be some weird stuff going on. But hey, the Super Bowl wasn't the only event that happened this week. we had another thing happen that was really cool that you were a part of, and that was the drink and draw, where I was
Oh
the only
yeah, it
one
was
that
fun.
got tipsy. Everybody else just looking at me like I didn't tell y'all that it was a drink and draw. Nah, let me stop. I know everybody don't drink, so it's fine.
You should have drank a Capri Sun.
Like you,
Yeah.
also eating the Bop Tarts in my face again.
Yeah, you need to buy some.
Wow, just grimy. I was like, yo, I know she did not just pull out a whole box of Bop Tarts,
Oh,
just munching on them. Like we can't get,
yeah, I
like we can
did.
get them in the store regularly. I was like, excuse
No,
me.
you get them off the website or off TikTok Shop
No, I'm gonna get them eventually. I'm gonna get them
eventually,
eventually.
but then see if I eat them in front of you again, you're gonna get upset.
Of course, absolutely. Because you didn't offer.
You
First of all,
gotta
you got
buy
up and sat down. You didn't offer nobody none. You just started going. I'm like, all right, cool. I
some.
see how it is.
I don't know what I could do about that. I was hungry.
I, but no. What did you think? Because that was your first one. This is our second one of the year, but this was your first one.
It was really fun, and I'm really glad that I was able to be a part of it because I haven't really been very motivated to draw quite as much recently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess I feel like I never really had too much inspiration coming in, and then I've just been busy. You know, I got a full-time job, I've got other stuff that I got going on. And I like that I kinda had that time that was just set aside to be able to just kinda fool around and draw, and then I got to meet people face to face, sort of, because it was online. I didn't actually get to see y'all in person. But it was nice to be able to see people's faces, and we got to all draw, like, different little characters, and I got to see other people's interpretations of them, and that's always fun. I like community-oriented type stuff like that.
You know what made me mad though? You know what made me mad? You
Mm.
made me mad because you said, what did you
I
say? These
don't
little
know.
doodles. I'm like, they ain't no doodle. That's a whole illustration. Like you put your whole foot in them joints, like the
Oh,
Hotep
well, yeah.
Duolingo, the adult Susie. Like those were dope. You over talking about doodle. Like you drew some stick figures or something. Like you make, and then you was getting on
I
Coco
mean,
for
I
doing the
just
same thing, talking down about herself. You over here saying doodles.
I
That was art,
know.
ma'am.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like full blown serious. We was just kind of having fun, and well, I guess art is supposed to be fun,
Yeah.
but
Always,
you know,
always, if possible. Unless you're working at
I
like a
wasn't
major
trying.
studio.
I wasn't going for no Mona Lisa type deal. So I
Yeah.
just was doodling.
This is doodling. What you did could have been on an exhibition floor. Okay.
Oh my God, I don't know about all of that, but thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. You're welcome. You know, I am very glad that you were able to come and that it's growing and that it's just a space for people to chill out, because there's a lot of things going on in people's lives individually. So it's just something fun to do during the week. Um, and I definitely want to expand on it for sure as time goes on, as we grow, as the community grows. Because what I would love to do is in-person events, and
Yeah, when are you gonna schedule that so I can get a
when a
trip
brother
to
when a brother gets
Brooklyn?
some good income to host at a place and get some real
Um,
models in there,
okay, okay, my bad. What?
models like for to draw,
Oh, okay.
like people, yeah.
Oh, all right.
You never been to one where they had people modeling?
No, I've only done it in school.
Oh yeah, yeah. The ones I've been to, they usually would have somebody either dressed up in something really fancy or they'll just be in regular clothes and you would draw whoever that was. And if they had some money, they would have multiple models and it was switch throughout the night, which was really cool.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. The one I want to do, I'm not going to
Ah,
speak it out loud. I'll tell you privately. But the one I want to do would be way cooler than that because I think a lot of people would like this idea. So I'm going to tell you when we get off here, but it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope.
oh, okay. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I've always wanted to do something like that. And I like drawing with people. and I love encouraging people to draw. I think everybody should be drawing. I think everybody should try, even if they don't think they're good at it. It doesn't matter. Is that Enigma?
Yes, it is.
You know what?
That's
Now that I
what?
got you
What are we
here,
doing?
I got questions for
Huh?
you because you already talked
Wait,
about.
wait, what questions?
What?
What are
Relax.
we
I'm not going to
asking?
ask you for your social security number or nothing like that. But Enigma, how
You
old is
sure?
she?
Um,
Because when I drew her, she was an
Enigma.
adult. She was like maybe like
Yeah, she's an
20s.
adult.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
And what is
I'm still.
you're
What
still
is
what?
what?
Are you keeping it hush hush? Like
I'm still trying to
what is her
like.
origin? Like what's going on with
Yeah.
Enigma? I mean, she's serving the purpose of her name because I know nothing about her. Nobody knows anything about her except for you.
Well,
She's
you
living
know
her
what? That's
truth in
how
her name.
we're gonna just keep it like that for right now.
Okay.
Maybe I'll tell you when we get off.
Okay, no problem. But was this a character that you've been drawing for years, or is this something relatively new?
I've been just doodling her for a couple years,
Hmm.
for the most part. Nothing like too serious,
Yeah.
but just something to kind of have fun. But I'm thinking of ways to just flesh her out and do some different things with her.
Yeah, I would love to see more of her for sure. Because especially since again, so many questions. Like, what's the purple stuff? Why is her hair purple? Why does she? Why is she called Enigma? You know what I'm saying? Like, so many questions. Where is she from? Is she from New Orleans?
No,
Okay, that's all you can tell me. That's it. No.
yeah, that's so far.
All right. Does she
It's
like?
just right now.
Does she like eating crab legs?
Yeah, she loves crab legs.
Okay. King crab.
100. What is 150 stroke? King
That's what I
crab.
just said. See, it told me the same thing. It gave me a milestone for 150 strokes. Ayo. I don't know why they put that in there. I think that's weird. It threw me off. But okay, I guess. But no, so Enigma, have any friends? She's a solo dolo type person. What's up? What
She's
can you
a
tell us?
loner.
What can you tell us?
She's a loner. Her hair color is natural, and she likes to keep to herself.
Okay, because she's an enigma,
Yes.
right? Like a Kingdom Hearts character. I love it.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Let me ask you because this is something that I feel we're going to be definitely talking more about now. We, as you know, colloquially Black people, not just us too. Um, do you feel the definition of it's going to be a two-part question? Do you feel the definition of Black excellence has changed with everything that's going on? And do you think that Black excellence has also been harmful in any way?
Uh, in all honesty, I feel like it doesn't seem to have changed, at least based on kind of how I've always viewed it and how I feel the people around me have viewed it. Everything has always kind of been focused on, just being the best that you can be, just striving for better. Generally, the things that we kind of see depicted in the media are people that are successful. They kind of, reach these heights. Like we was talking about characters in animation, and we have like Susie's parents, and one of them is like this successful cartoonist, and the other one is a doctor. And I always kind of thought of Black excellence as kind of being, kind of in that ballpark. Like they are able to have these high achievements, they're able to go forward and just be like the best of the best. And I think that in some ways that is somewhat harmful because you kind of have these people feeling like um, they're not really doing, I guess, what they feel that they should be doing or achieving things that they feel like they should have achieved at a certain point in their lives. And I feel like that can potentially cause people to feel as if they're behind.
Hmm.
um but I don't necessarily think that it's the definition itself has changed. I think that maybe we do need to consider how we frame it. Like maybe we need to just kind of consider like how tough things are, and especially now in the current climate, things have changed economically. It's a lot harder to do a lot of things. Like it's a lot harder for people to be able to own property and, maybe even just do things like being able to pursue higher education because stuff like that is just very expensive and, leads to all kind of stuff like debt and all that. But I think that we could potentially consider how we start thinking about it now, because I think we need to be a little bit more inclusive on what Black excellence is so that people don't feel like they need to burn themselves out trying to achieve something that might not be within their reach at this point in time.
Yeah, nah, I definitely see that. Everything you said, I would agree with. Because recently, I want to say like in the last few months, I've been watching a lot of different people talk about this whole the black excellence, aesthetic, right? And there's this whole joke of the black excellence brunch crew type vibe, and I feel like a lot of the times when we do speak out black excellence, initially what I felt it was for, and as you said, was just promoting ourselves in these high esteemed compliments and affirmations and things like that, just being proud of where we are and what we achieved and all these different things that we've accomplished with schooling or with careers or whatever. But I also think the flip side of that is how it can definitely, as you just pointed out, can be harmful to people that are not at that level. And I feel there's this gatekeeping notion that comes with that, because I feel like a lot of what black excellence is, unfortunately, is just the high sedity black people trying to mimic what white people are doing, you know? Because you have like, I'm thinking about like the college folks, like the sororities and the fraternities. I'm thinking about, the super like I can't even think of a name of it, but the black dudes who always dress up in suits all the time, and they'll dress up the young boys in the suits, and it's like this whole thing they do where they're grooming them, not in an inappropriate way, but they're grooming them to be like very specific in their actions that are not conducive to helping each other. It's more like individualistic. And I see that affect a lot of what goes on in the art world, because we have a lot of spaces. We have a lot of spaces that are now coming into fruition where we can be with each other in our blackness and our culture. But I feel like a lot of the times when we have those spaces in art, it becomes a little, I don't know, again, for lack of a better term, gatekeeping, where you see a gallery or museum, but they're not accepting a specific type of art or a specific type of theme or whatever the case may be, because they want to promote, you know, how glorious this one particular thing is. It's like we don't want to bring in racial tensions. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. We just want to be like, oh, we was kings. Like not everybody is a king. Not everybody was a king or a queen and all this stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like it just
Yeah.
feels like there's a division that's created because of that. So now when I view black excellence, I have to question like what are the intentions of the person that's promoting that phrase? Like, are we actually promoting black excellence as a form of solidarity with one another, no matter what class we're in, no matter how much we make and what kind of art we create? Or is it more of just like we're gonna keep ourselves up here, and whoever's not with us, even if they look like us, they're gonna stay down here.
Yeah. Um, I think we kind of have an issue with that where we need to we need to learn to kind of give people a little bit of grace, and on top of that we kind of need to learn that everybody doesn't have the same ideals, everybody doesn't have the same motivations, everybody's not looking for the same stuff, everybody is not kind of interested in all the same stuff, and we kind of we have like I want to say like a greater issue there where we still kind of are feeling like we got to put blackness in a box,
Mm.
and it's not even just with the black excellence thing, it just is kind of with blackness as a whole. And I thought we had moved past that, but apparently we kind of still have this issue where it's just people still being told they're not black enough, they're not black excellence enough, they're not this enough, they're not that enough, and whatever. And
I thought
we
we moved past it
kind of
too.
end up.
But I realized that you and I and other people that think like us that are more open minded, we're in a bubble. Because there's still a lot of people that think on the complete opposite spectrum than we do. And
And
there's a
I've
lot of them,
realized that.
and it sucks. I was like, oh wow, I haven't seen any controversial topics about culture lately. And then with this whole Kendrick situation, now you're seeing it again, right? Like the bubble has been burst a little bit. And I'm peeking outside of the echo chamber that we're in, because everybody ends up in the echo chamber at some point. So it just sucks to see that so many people just care about the most dumbest things. It's like, I don't know, like the whole thing with bonnets and do rags or
Oh
whatever.
my
You know what
God.
I'm saying? It's just like, why are we're focused on the wrong things? What we need to focus on is coming together as a community, helping those who are in need, and pushing against all of the I don't like using the word oppression because it feels too dramatic to me, but the animosity that we get from a lot of the systems that we're in. Unfortunately, uh those systems we have to break out of to really like topple them. But as far as it is right now, like we need to focus on like really just having a narrow mission in mind, which is the elevation of black culture here in America or anywhere else by any means necessary, meaning that it don't matter what you do, it don't matter what religion you're in, it don't matter what your background is, whether you are poor, whether you're rich, whether you are gay, whether you're straight, like you look like me, you have struggles because of what we look like, I'm going to help you out. As long as you are not doing any buffoonery, as long as you're not misrepresenting yourself or harming yourself in ways that are detrimental to, you as an individual or your
Mhm.
community, I'm here to help you, you know, because that whole adage of like rooting for everybody black that Issa said years ago, I still believe in that. But I put an asterisk next to it because then you have people like Kanye West existing in the
Oh,
public eye,
yeah.
you know? And at this point, I feel like if you're a Kanye fan, at this point, you still defend what he's saying as like, I saw people saying, "Oh, he got an album coming out. That's why he's doing this." Yo, there's so many other things that he could have said and done in the last couple of weeks that could have been way more fun to promote and talk about than what he said, which is he's a Nazi and that he loves Hitler and that he is selling swastika shirts and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things he could have done before getting to that point. So for me, rooting for everybody black comes with an asterisk because for people like him, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't want to cast nobody aside, but I think at this point, at least for him, he's too far gone. He's too far gone.
And he cast himself aside. It was just kind of, you know, I guess that worked itself out, sort of.
Yeah, like I feel like everybody else, I used to really enjoy a lot of Kanye's work, even if he was a little bit, out there with it, right? But at this point, when you're speaking on things like that and you really don't care, even if he was joking, even if he came out a month from now and was like, oh, that was just for, publicity and all that stuff. Like, come on, my guy. Come on, my guy. Like, you can't be doing that. So at this point, I don't want to listen to his music. I don't want to hear his music. I don't want to hear anything that he's worked on because it's just ridiculous now. Because what you're doing is very harmful to a lot of people. What you're doing is disrespectful to a lot of people. Even black folks too. Like, even if what he's saying is geared towards the Jewish demographic, and there are black Jews too, what he's saying is still ridiculous and outrageous and harmful. I mean, and I still don't forgive him for what he said when he said slavery was a choice, and Van Lathan chewed him out
Oh,
on TMZ live.
Jesus. It is a troubled man.
Yeah, and people blame it on autism. Like, I know a lot of people who are autistic that don't do that.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not.
You got to go.
He just is crazy.
And I think the more people pay attention to him, the more he's going to do. So I think at this point, what we have to do collectively, whether you are black or not, just ignore that guy. Just ignore him because he craves the attention. That's what he loves. That attention is what's feeding all the stuff that he's doing. So once nobody's looking at him, he will most likely stop and disappear into the ether.
Well, I guess we'll see if that happens because a lot of people are still feeding that. And look at what he posted. Oh, he's coming out with an album. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, look, he got a divorce from his wife, and
I think she woke up.
people just. I would
I
hope
think
so.
she finally woke up. She was hypnotized. I don't even know if she was with him in the first place, but I guess after that
I
Grammy
guess.
stunt and after what he said recently, I don't blame anybody for leaving him.
That might have been a potential come up for her. That might have been why she was with him in the first place.
Oh no, I don't doubt that for a second, because I don't see any redeeming qualities in him, and I don't want to. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. People get really defensive about black folks in general, and I think to some degree it's ridiculous because we still have to be critical of ourselves in order for us to evolve as a people and as a culture and as a nation. So the more we placate the actions of famous people or everyday people, the more we're just going to sink ourselves into a hole, right? So it's like
Mm,
we see Kanye acting up, we should call him out for it. He cares so much about what people think. If everybody was just like, "Nah, you gotta chill, you gotta switch it up, you need to get some help," he might switch it up. He might try to improve, because people are like, "Oh, we missed the old Kanye." This has always been Kanye. I think. I honestly believe this has always been him, just at different
yeah,
variations and different levels.
he's always been saying stuff he really didn't have no business saying.
Yeah.
And me and my family was just talking about the Hurricane Katrina thing.
Oh, George Bush
And
doesn't
what
care
was it?
about
It
black
was
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so funny though, because Mike Myers' face after he said,
Mike and Chris, who was that? Tucker? Yo, both of them
yeah,
was just like,
it was just like, huh? Like what?
yeah,
And it
nah,
was just like that, well, it wasn't like people necessarily disagreed with what he said, but it was just like, what are you doing?
yeah,
This wasn't the time for that. But yeah, well, he's always just kind of been a little off the rails, and it's always been normal for him.
mm-hmm.
And he always kind of needed help, but I guess people didn't really see it that way. He's just being real. He's a genius.
Oh
So
God,
it's because he lost his mama, and he just went crazy after he lost his mama. And I mean, he could have made things worse, but I don't think that makes it okay. And I
no,
still think that needs to be stopped.
yeah, I think someone can be a genius but also an idiot at the same time. You could
Yeah,
be intelligent. You can be incredibly intelligent, but also lack the social awareness and skills of someone else in your social circle. He clearly lacks that social awareness, that emotional maturity that probably wasn't fostered properly. But I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not his parents. I don't know what his life is or what it's like, but I do know that what he is doing and what he has done is very, for lack of a better term, problematic, because people still follow him and believe in what he does. And now that he is full on, whatever he's doing, whether it's the Nazi thing or the Republican thing, or if he's still riding with Trump or Elon or whatever, it's just really fucked up and evil. So when it comes to rooting for everybody black, again, like I said, asterisks next to it. We can just put him in a corner somewhere until he gets rehabilitated, and he can come back later, as long as he apologizes for everything. Say you're sorry.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Well, you never really know. That man is a mixed bag, but
Yeah.
it's not looking like it's going in that direction right now.
No. But more power to him. And I am hoping that just all of us as a whole can move forward with or without him. Um but there's been some other news. Oh, I like the what you got going. Wait a minute, that's different from the powers I saw before. Oh, she got multiple powers, huh?
Yeah, okay, I guess.
You know what?
We'll
Stop.
just roll with
Can you stop being enigmatic right now? Give me a straight answer.
No, I can't,
We
no.
trying to get the exclusive before you get famous and you forget about me.
No, oh no, I won't forget about you.
But they had some controversy over at Disney. I'm sure you've watched X-Men 97 when it dropped. What was that, last year? They
Yeah, it was a
there was a guy, the showrunner, I think he was a showrunner or director of the show, Bo DeMayo or DeMayo. He recently came out with a video kind of explaining the whole situation. And what initially happened was he was on the show, then he was fired when the show came out. And there's been a lot of information coming out since then about him and what he has done or has not done. And he made this video on YouTube to kind of clear the air. I only take it with a grain of salt because, you know, we don't know exactly everything that's going on. But I feel like, given how these companies work and how insidious things are for Black people, especially if you are queer, I definitely feel like I'm on the side. I don't know if you got to watch the video or not.
I did. That was very disturbing.
Yeah. So I definitely think that um I don't know why I can't zoom up. It's not letting me zoom up on this canvas. I don't know what's going on. Let me There we go. Yeah, so for those who are watching right now and don't know what's going on, the showrunner of X-Men 97 originally was Bo DeMayo or DeMayo. He got kicked off the show, and Disney also tried to besmirch his name across the internet, saying that he was uh, doing inappropriate things at work. They tried to make it seem like he was this perverted, you know, social pariah because he has pictures of himself on Instagram, which everybody got pictures of themselves on Instagram. And he's fit. What do you think a fit person going to do on Instagram? They're going to show themselves off. So they try to do this whole thing where they just making him seem like a bad, creepy, weird dude. And turns out that stuff most likely is not true. And it sucks because we've heard stories like this before. We've heard stories like this across the animation industry, across comics and just the art world in general, where someone's trying to do a specific thing and spread a really great message and write really great stories, and people come in to change it, switch it up, and also bury that person that tried to speak up about it. And it sucks. That corporate culture, it just sucks all around.
Yeah, and it was a little unnerving hearing some of the comments he said that he received while he was working on some of these projects, and a lot of them were, really derogatory. And he was saying some of that stuff wasn't even the worst of what he heard, but hearing stuff like, him saying people were talking about cracking a whip and all of that,
Yeah.
that was just like, oh, okay, like that just blew me. I was like, this is ridiculous. And he was saying, like, oh, I've heard so much worse, and I'm not even going to go into it here. I'm like, well, what the heck was going on these sets? But
Yeah.
I think it's, like you said, the corporations, they know they can get away with these things. And a lot of times they'll hear complaints, because he mentioned he made complaints about how he felt like he was unsafe. Like they'll just try to hand wave it, or if they feel like you're going to get to the point where you're going to put it out in the open, then all of a sudden they have to destroy your career. And that's sad how that happens. Like, people are given just so much power in these positions, where the fact that it gets to the point where you can't even defend yourself and you can't defend anybody else.
And the fact that no
And
one stood up for him either. If it seems like the entire studio and everyone he worked with was either silenced or they didn't care. And that's the scariest part. Because why is he on his own? Why is he the only one person standing up? Why is he the only one person saying anything? And
and that's what makes it worse.
yeah, and it
Mhm.
also is just like, now it's hard to watch the show or think about the show because what else is going on? Because if he was getting attacked and abused and mistreated and had to deal with racist and homophobic comments and gestures, I can't imagine what the other people were dealing with, the other writers. the animators, the background artists, like the editors, everybody else on the team. Like I can't imagine, you know. And it what the hugest irony in this whole thing is about X-Men. We're on X-Men, a show that's supposed to be about diversity and equity and inclusion. The big magic words everybody hates now, DEI. And accessibility. I learned that there's another letter to it, DEIA, accessibility.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah. And what we have to realize too, that these companies don't really care. Like the bigger the corporation, the less they have a heart. The smaller the heart. It's kind of like the Grinch. In the beginning of the Grinch, his heart like this big, you know. It's just like that because they care more about the profits and how much you're going to make and how much retention they get from these shows and these films and these comics and these video games than the actual message. They don't care. They really don't.
That almost doesn't even make sense to me because you think that they would at least try to consider, the people that work for them, because if it gets to a point where people are consistently dealing with this and they're consistently getting this blowback or people are leaving, then I would think it would eventually get to a point where it would be kind of hard for them to even be able to continue to employ people consistently and make the profits that they want. Like, I guess I sort of get it from a business perspective, but I feel like eventually that would just kind of blow up in your
But
face.
look at what happened with everything the last few weeks. Once they started reeling back or pulling back on DEI initiatives, immediately people were getting fired. Immediately people were losing deals. Immediately people were losing their jobs. So it's more,
Yeah.
I think it's more that a lot of these bigger companies tolerate the rest of us. They don't really care or celebrate us.
Oh yeah, that I think that's always been obvious.
Yeah. So I'm not
Everything has always
surprised.
been about the money.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised that there was more to the story. I'm not surprised that he had more to say. It's just unfortunate that it keeps happening. It's unfortunate that every time I turn around, someone that was really excited to work at Netflix or work at Disney or work at or collaborate Target now lost those opportunities because they never really gave a fuck about us to begin with. It's really disheartening and it's really sad, especially for smaller people that are getting put on, smaller people that are getting these opportunities. Because if they lose that, that's probably where all their eggs were, and now they got to scramble
Hmm.
to figure something else out if they weren't prepared for it. Because if any, that's natural, like everybody always says, put your eggs in different baskets or whatever. But I feel like it's natural to get hype if Netflix contacts you or Nickelodeon or whoever else contacts you and they want to work with you. You're gonna get hype. You're gonna be like, this is my big deal, my big break. This is my big opportunity. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it's just this is where I talk about community so much because we really have to come together in a way that performs that actually performs. We have to put actions where the words are at. We have to do this with praxis. It can't just be us sitting on threads or Twitter typing angrily at somebody because blah 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 reason. We actually have to start putting our money where our mouth is. Like we need money first of all, right? The money aspect has to be there, and with the money aspect will come some sort of power, and with that pulling our resources together outside of the monetary aspect will give us some sort of a blanket, will give a lot of people some sort of a blanket, whether it's in the art world, whether it's with blue collar jobs, whether it's with anything else, you know, because
Hmm.
I don't know what Bo has going on. I don't know what Ghetto Gastro has going on. But I think, you know, if we really just stop being so individualistic, and it sounds like, one of them dudes that's just like, well, blah, 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 blah. But I do feel like the time for us to, be squabbling in our little corners is over. Because like I was saying on the stream the other day, it's just like there's a piece of this movement for everybody. We don't always have to be on the front street, on the front lines. Somebody could be on one side making flyers, another person could be the one that's doing the public engagements. We got another person that is raising money. Somebody else might be better at the admin work. So we pull those
Hmm.
resources together, then we good to go. Because with stuff like and I don't know what the institutions are like down where you're at, but like here in New York, we recently just got news that the Brooklyn Museum, which is one of the most prominent art institutions in this city, has laid off more than 40 people, with more probably happening on the way. There's a deficit in their budget, and they're letting all these people go, while the people in the suits are sitting pretty. And I love that place. I go there all the time. But like now we're going to have less exhibitions there. We're going to have people losing their jobs. We don't know if they're going to be firing more. I actually tried to apply to work there a few years back, but it sucks because there's just no warning and there's no blanket. Have you seen anything in your town, in your state, that has affected the arts in any way? There's any pullback or deficits in budgets or loss in programs?
Uh, that's a little hard to say because we've never really had a lot of investment in the arts to begin with. So
Mm,
it's kind of already been a little scarce. Now, a little while back, even before this whole like DEI thing kind of happened, they were already trying to pull back on that even more. Um, because the thing is about the state of Louisiana is uh economically we are supported by mostly tourism and then oil and agriculture. And the tourism is, mostly here in New Orleans, and that all of that kind of it just fuels the overall state economy. But we still have a lot of people that aren't interested in doing all that kind of hospitality stuff. Like, everybody don't want to work at a restaurant. Everybody don't want to open a hotel. Some of us want to do other things. Like we want to illustrate. We want to do graphic design. Some people want to direct film. Some people want to write. And we already don't have a lot of investment in that. And we sort of kind of had some things in place for that. I want to say it was like some sort of film credits. And they wanted to get rid of that. I guess because they felt like it wasn't very good of an investment because they want to invest in the things that they feel is going to bring the state more money. And I personally wish that they would invest more into the people. And I get it because, we need money to function. We need, the streets to be paved. We need to make sure we have clean water and all that. We're getting all these millions and millions of dollars from people coming and wanting to catch plastic beads during Mardi Gras and whatever else. So I kind of get it.
have you ever
But
caught
I
beads at
also,
Mardi Gras?
when I was little, you're getting me off track. But
Gotta keep you on your toes.
oh Lord. Um, but no, I really do wish that the state as a whole would look to invest in a lot of the creatives here because we do have a big creative community. We have a lot of people that want to go forward in the arts. And we do have some, like we have museums and we have organizations that are there to sort of support that, but there's not really enough. And I do wish that there was ways that we could sort of overcome that, but it is such a big hurdle because the state is always just going to fixate on how much money we can get from tourism, how much more stuff can we do that we could bring more people in. And that's one reason why the Super Bowl being here was such a big deal for a lot of people because there's more revenue that can come in. And there's, such a big crowd. So stuff like that is nice. We like the opportunities. Local businesses can thrive. And I'm really happy for that. And I was really happy for all of the people who were locals that were involved in that. Like we had, a black owned, black led agency that was able to put the collateral and things together for the Super Bowl. We had a young black woman who was also a Mardi Gras Indian, and she designed the logo for the Super Bowl. And all that is beautiful. I'm so happy to see my people shining like that. but I also would like for everybody else to be doing that all the time instead of, just during major events.
Yeah.
So
That
that's what
seems
I
to
got to say
be
about that.
that seems to be the case for a lot of different cities, a lot of different towns
Hmm.
that are tourist based or tourist attractions to begin with, whether it's New York, whether it's Chicago, Louisiana, um, even in California, right? They're more obsessed with doing all the things that we don't want them to do necessarily. They're great to have. Like having a Super Bowl there, I'm pretty sure was really fun, right? And like you said, a lot of people were put on,
Hmm.
but also the infrastructure of the city needs a lot of things to be improved. Even here in New York, right? Our subway is one of the biggest in the country, is the biggest in the country, but it runs poorly. You know, a lot of our streets aren't paved well. There's a lack of green spaces here. Housing, while there are lots of places to, buy, I'm not buy, but rent homes, there's not a lot of affordable housing. So it's like they spend more time putting money into frivolous things that don't help or benefit the locals at all because they're more concerned about just random people who are trying to move here or trying to visit here. And I feel like at some point, may not be now, may not be next year, maybe 10 years from now, it's going to all collapse. It's all going to all collapse and it's not going to look good. It's not going to be good. So with this movement that I'm seeing kind of sweeping across social media and in public spaces, I think this is an important time to really get acclimated politically in your local spaces, in your hometown, wherever you may live. Not speaking just to you, but I'm saying in general to anybody listening right now. It's just like whoever's watching this episode, like find out what's going on so you can take action, so that way we all can thrive. Because all the stuff that's happening, these budget cuts to the arts, the budget cuts to municipal, very important municipal things in our city, it's going to affect everybody, whether you voted red or blue, green, yellow, purple, is all going to affect us, and it's starting to affect people now. It is, especially blue collar workers, especially people who are not in the arts, right? And eventually, you're not going to have people being able to work because they're not going to have no place to live. They're going to have enough money. It's ridiculous. I'm getting off topic because I'm rambling, but I say all this to say community is important. You know, we also got to look out for the kids. I work with a lot of after school programs, and a lot of the schools are failing these kids. A lot of the schools, the teachers are quitting. A lot of the schools are now allowing, I forgot what happened. There's a specific requirement, obviously, to be able to teach inside of a school during the day. And now they're having it so that whatever that requirement was is now cut in half. So you got people who are less qualified coming into the school because the people that were qualified are not getting treated fairly. The people that were qualified are not getting paid enough. The people that were qualified were laid off. Budget cuts. Art programs are dropping like flies. These kids can't read. They can't do math. You know, they have no social uh you know they don't have a lot of social awareness about themselves, and they're struggling. It sucks. So coming into like the after school programs over the like last few years, it's just been really interesting to see the decline of the school system, the decline of our children, especially our black kids. And they really love these programs because these programs are what foster a lot of that creativity that we talk about all the time. They foster a lot of that open mindedness that we embrace all the time, you know? And
Hmm.
my bad. You say something because I feel like I've been talking for like
What?
15 minutes.
what?
Because,
What you
like,
want me to say?
well, no, because,
I was just listening. You you got a lot on your mind. You got to get it out.
yeah, I guess I do. I don't know. It's just, do you feel that at this point we're kind of obligated to, in some way, be political as artists? Like to be more political than before?
Mm, I don't really know what to say about that because part of me wants to say yes because I do feel that it is important to push certain messages because like you're saying, we have a lot of issues and a lot of them need to be addressed. Um, and just kind of using what you have at your disposal to help your community, or just be a help overall. I think that that's very important. But I'm partially on the fence about that because I feel like not everybody is equipped to do that. And I don't know if I would want to push everybody to do something like that and they don't necessarily have the understanding of a topic to be political enough and actually get the appropriate message out there. Because everybody is not always very well informed on different topics.
Oh, I know.
Some people just,
They be
yeah.
on TikTok every day talking nonsense.
Oh, yeah, and I wouldn't want somebody to feel that that is something that they need to do. Um, Especially considering, that fact in and of itself. It's like you don't really know what you're talking about, and now you're trying to make some political statements about it. That can get very messy. It could go downhill real quick. And then also some people they just kind of, drawing is their outlet. Sometimes it's their way to escape the things that's going on around them. And you don't always want to think about everything around you falling apart all the time if you just trying to sit there and just doodle cartoon people or something. So
But then
I
how
I, I
much?
don't want to say what?
No, go ahead.
No, I said I just wouldn't want to say like I feel like we are obligated to do so just because of those points. I think that it is very helpful to do that, especially if you have the ability to do it. But I just don't know if I would say everybody should.
I hear what you're saying. I definitely think a lot of what you're saying has merit, but I want to offer some pushback with a question because yeah, we use art as an escape. We use video games as an escape. We use all sorts of things to escape reality. But how far do we need to go with escapism to the point where we're not doing anything? Because I feel like the deeper we go with that, the more complacent we come. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying everybody got to be James Baldwin or whoever else, right? But I think there should be some semblance in our work. It doesn't have to be our personal work, right? Like you could be
Hmm.
making Enigma just for fun, but if there is some other way with your artistry that you can help out with whatever political movement or statement, I think that's a really great thing to do. And I think it doesn't hurt to learn and try because people will learn and try with everything else. You know, we see people get on TikTok and do challenges all the time. We see people get on threads and have all kinds of opinions about every single thing but themselves. So I do you think that the escapism goes a little bit too far?
I think sometimes it can. Um, because sometimes people they just kind of want to completely ignore everything that's going on around them, and I think that could be potentially dangerous. Um, but it's just I don't know if I have a definitive answer for that just because of just all those different factors that go into it. Because there's people have other outlets as ways to be able to speak up on things, and you don't necessarily have to use your artwork to do that. Your art could just be your fun little side thing. Like I just want to draw unicorns all the time. I don't know if I want to draw a unicorn saying that Black Lives Matter. I just want to draw a unicorn. I and you might just be able to like get on threads and say something else, and that can just be your way of kind of speaking to different topics and different subjects and things that are going on. And I don't know if it's just always a necessity for everybody. I think that you're right that it is a good thing to do, and I think that if you have the capacity to do it, then you should. But, it's just that there's just so many things that could potentially make that not work. And I think kind of misinformation might be the biggest one. Even if we are completely ignoring the escapism thing, some people just don't need to be talking about nothing.
Oh
They
no.
need to go read a book.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the things that I feel would definitely benefit a lot of people. Reading and doing research and not just jumping on something because you think it's trendy. Because we do see that aspect. To your point, we do see that aspect on social media and in person where the loudest person in the room is usually the wrong, you know? And
Yeah.
there are so many people that will see a headline and never read the article. There are so many people that will watch a video and never do their own research. So yeah, to that point, not everybody should be jumping on it. Just me personally, I feel like just a little bit of reading, and that's not going to be everybody. You know, everybody's not going to do that because people don't read now. But I think just a little bit of reading and research, some R&R, you know, um, could be beneficial, even if you're not actively putting stuff out. Just being aware. I just think being aware is important, and just paying attention to what's going on because now that I'm seeing a lot of what's happening, it definitely it doesn't scare me necessarily. I'm not going to get be one of those people that's like, oh, the world is ending and the sky is falling. I'm not Chicken Little, right? But I do think there is a value in just being knowledgeable what's happening, even if it's just in your city, even if it's just
Hmm.
in your own town. It doesn't have to be on a global scale. It doesn't have to be on an international scale. You know, because there's all kinds of ways that we can be aware of what's happening. I just found out mm, like a few hours ago that one of the boroughs in my city, they're trying to restore a railway that would actually benefit a lot of commuters, like thousands of commuters, because there's no. So we have five boroughs here: the Bronx, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island. Now Queens and Brooklyn are next to each other,
Hmm.
and the trains that go between the two and also to go to Manhattan are not always they're not necessarily connected. So there's a whole gap of people that are stuck taking a bus to get somewhere or transferring to multiple trains, which makes things slower, makes things a little bit more crowded and more dangerous. So the fact that there are people right now that are looking to use that space as not only the restored railway, but as a park, a green space, I think that's dope. And that's something that like I feel would be a thing that more people could latch onto, you know, because you never know. You might be that hero. You might be the one like, hey, I saved the railway. Look at me. This
That's
looks like
quite an
Enigma's
accent.
mama. This is like Enigma's auntie. That's what she looked like.
Well, maybe that
Like
can't
she's
be her
scolding.
auntie.
Oh my god, she's scolding her. Enigma's just living her best life. She's like, "What, girl? I told you to stop going out there doing that stuff with your powers that I don't know all about because you're an enigma." I said the word.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel more politically inclined recently, and I feel like this might be annoying some people. But listen,
Let them be annoyed.
yeah, we gotta wake up, like Lawrence Fishburne said that one movie
Oh,
all them years ago. Another thing that's going on, and this will probably ring across the nation at some point, but the Kennedy Center is now going to be under new administration, which I think is really strange because how does Trump become president of the United States, but then he can also run this place too? It just feels weird to me. I don't think that's something that can actually happen. I haven't read all the details of it yet, but it feels like what he's doing or what his administration is doing and shadow president Elon Musk is trying to do is just dismantle the arts. Anything that promotes any sort of free thinking or thought, they're trying to like just crush it or make it difficult to create and promote. I don't know if you saw
I
anything
just
about that during the week because there were a few celebrities that actually like left the board or something like that.
I saw the Issa Rae comments. Um, I haven't really seen too much else. Like how she was supposed to be, what was it, like some event she was supposed to be having there?
Yeah.
and she pulled out of it even though it was sold out.
Yeah, because I feel like
But
with him or
yeah,
whoever
see,
else in charge, it's not gonna go well. And I think it was her, it was Ben Folds, and some other. There was an actress that pulled out from the board or just pulled their events out immediately.
that's really a shame
Yeah, it sucks.
that you have such an attack on the arts like that. It's really one of the only avenues a lot of people have to express themselves.
Yeah. So
But
people donate to your institutions, help them out. Same thing with PBS. PBS ended what was it? Their DEI initiative, right? They're dropping some
mhm,
stuff. People are mad about that, which I find interesting because from what I understand, PBS is government owned. So like they have to follow
yeah,
that. They have no
they didn't
choice.
have no
Like
choice.
everybody's like, "Oh, boycott PBS." Like y'all didn't even boycott Target.
No.
Y'all can't even boycott
See,
Meta
that's
for a
the
week. Like, come on. Why you want to
that's
boycott
the thing where
PBS?
people don't be having a full story. They don't have no information on stuff. They just want to just
That goes
go
back to your
straight
point.
and jump into it.
That goes back to your point,
Um,
what you just said. People don't know what's going on, and they shouldn't be doing nothing. That goes right back to your
yeah,
point.
just please just zip that lip. But they be all on there, got 5 million followers. Y'all, we boycotting this little place here, and then, there's no reason to do that.
There isn't. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for the people to stand up and put their money where their mouth is. It's like if we care about PBS, we care about Sesame Street and all the other publicly funded programming, the TV shows, the films, and the arts. We should be putting our money towards that, you know. And I think that way we protect all the stuff that we're enamored with, all the stuff that we grew up with, all the stuff that we learned so much from. Again, like from kids to adults and elders. Like put some money. It don't have to be a big check every time, but like a little $5 here, $10 there, 25, 50, whatever you got. You know, that's how
Yeah, they
I
really
feel like that's how
need
it's going to
that.
move.
And then that kind of circles back to what you were saying about how all of these teachers are quitting and the schools are failing kids, and now even that is kind of going downhill with the whole removal of DEI. Like these kids today, they don't really have enough resources to make it, and that's just very disheartening. Just to kind of know that the world is essentially just giving up on them, which is just it's just sad.
No, the world didn't give up on them. I think what happened was they're just making sure that, how can I put this? When I say the world, I'm talking about the powers that be, the people that don't care about, individuality and the arts and liberation, all that. So the world does care about them. They only care about them as a workforce. They don't want you to be smart. They don't want you to be bright. They don't want you to think. So all the stuff that they're removing, they just want those kids to end up in some mindless blue collar job that they're going to fire them from anyway when they start putting more robotics in these warehouses and shit. They won't be able to unionize because it's just a lot of things are interconnected, and it's just, yeah. I
Mm.
I'm hoping that we can find some sort of solution for the kids first, because I literally saw a video the other day. A teacher was in front of her class. You might have seen this too. And she was literally debating them about whether slaves were paid.
Oh, okay.
They thought that
I haven't seen
slaves were
that.
paid.
I don't know if I want to see that.
Literally going
That's
back and forth with the teacher talking
yeah.
about slaves were paid away. Like, no, little Jamal, that didn't happen.
um, Where are we going right now? That is unnerving.
Down the drain. Down the drain. So again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. Donate to the organizations in your local, in your home, at your home state, your hometown. Follow what's going on with your local leaders. Sit in on meetings, town halls. Like this is stuff we should have been doing beforehand, but like now it's like there's still a chance. Some people are defeated. It's like, oh, what's the point, whatever. But I think there's still a chance. I think there's still some movement there. Especially when it comes to everything going on with AI right now. I learned this week that there is some copyright protection that has been put on an official piece. And editor, who is me in the future, please put the picture up on screen. But there is an actual piece that has been given copyright protection. AI image, which is insane to me because we recently all agreed that shouldn't be a thing. We all agreed that shouldn't be the case because AI art is basically like knockoff. It's you're looking for a designer bag, but you got the knockoff on Canal Street or whatever the equivalent of Canal Street would be in Louisiana.
Canal Street.
Y'all have a Canal Street there?
Yes, we
Oh,
do.
do people sell bootleg handbags and stuff over there too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. You messing with me?
Yeah. No, I'm not.
So when I come
Canal
down there, when we all come down there, and we want to look for the knockoff bags, we go to Canal Street, and it's going to be there.
Yeah, they'll have knockoff bags. They also have Popeyes on Canal Street. That's like
Louisiana
their little flagship
fast.
store.
That's your
Oh
flagship store.
no.
Come on, y'all. They got rid of that black lady so fast.
Oh,
Come on down and get some of these 11 herbs. Well, that's KFC. Never mind. What I forgot what she used to say. She used to say something, and then it'll be like, "Love that chicken from Popeyes," and you hear the little spoons in the back. Ching, 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 ching. I was like, "All right." And then the funny part
that
is
was too
that
much.
all the Popeyes up here are run by Indians, like from overseas, like South Asian. So it's like y'all advertising
That's
with
so
black
weird
people,
to
but then
me.
everybody that's running the store not even look like us.
Well, that's not the case down here.
Well, yeah, I would hope so. I would hope at the blackest one of the blackest states in the country would have black people at the Popeyes. But
Yeah, there's plenty.
well, no. So it looks like this company Invoke, they filed an application with the Copyright Office last year to register a piece. It's like some weird portrait with like Picasso-esque, vibes to it, and they claim that the selection was something that deserved copyright protection, and they had some failed attempts, but
What?
eventually it was given to them. And this piece that I'm looking at, it's like ridiculous,
I don't understand how they got around this. Like because it was like you're saying, like they kept saying, well, we can't do this because this is all you're pulling it from images that don't belong to you to create something else.
Well, they're
So I
saying
don't
here.
understand how you can do that.
Well, it's saying here that the Copyright Office decided finally that this piece contained enough sufficient human original authorship in this piece in coordination with the AI for it to be given that registration and approval.
Um, okay, I still don't really get it.
I don't
Um,
either, but this
it,
is going to be endemic of a lot of issues going forward with AI artists, companies that want to use AI art, and the protections for artists like you and I. Because
yeah, this
if
is
this is allowed to be in with regarded in law, then what choice or chance do we have at protecting our own work, and what kind of litigation could we get for something like that? Because that could have been your character right there. That could have been my character. And they just said, "Oh, I wanted to base my style off of Morgan City, but all I did was add in some blah blah blah," and then they got it. And now it's like, no, that doesn't make sense. That's like taking somebody's recipe from Popeyes, going starting up your own thing. No, somebody did actually do that. Somebody started up like a whole restaurant on Uber, like a ghost kitchen, and all they was doing was just buying Popeyes and selling it back at a higher price.
just Sweet Dixie Kitchen or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. That's basically the same concept.
hmm Uh,
That's how I see it. So I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to start with something like this, and how we can and how we can combat that, because it's not okay. Something fell. It scared me. I thought the FBI agent was coming to get me. I thought it was over. I thought we was about to shut down.
that,
I
yeah.
I thought I had to run.
What you got, a white shadow like Huey?
Yeah, yeah. At this point, as much as I've been speaking the last few weeks, they probably looking at me right now. We got him.
Oh, oh goodness.
But how do you feel about this? Like, do you feel enraged? Do you feel pissed off? Are you like still neutral about AI? Like, how do you feel?
I'm so confused because I don't even understand how there's a human element to this if you have pulled like somebody else's stuff. And I'm just like, I'm trying to just think. There has to be some way where you should be able to protect yourself as an artist because I just can't necessarily see this making sense going forward. Like, I mean, we're saying it like we're thinking kind of in terms of like if somebody tried to take our stuff and tried to rehash it and make it their own. But will like a big corporation like Disney be okay with something like that? Like I feel like there has to be some line drawn here because I feel like big corporations are gonna shut that down pretty quick
But they're
if it
part of the problem.
becomes ridiculous.
They've used AI art. We've seen it.
I'm saying like if somebody like somebody tries to create something like I guess another corporation and they're like, well, we've made this AI Mickey Mouse and we're gonna put him in this Nickelodeon show. Like what do
I see what you're saying.
like there has to be some kind of something where it's like you can't take it this
I
far
think it has
because
to get
then
to
it's
that
that.
point. I think it has to get to that point where someone takes a modern version of Mickey or any other Disney property and says, okay, well, I put a prompt in that did X, Y, and Z, so now it's mine, for it to happen. I think we need to have an actual situation that puts Disney or whatever company on the back of somebody else, and that's how we get that done. That's usually how some of these processes are done in the first place. Usually, when a big corporation has some person stealing an idea, an IP, or whatever recipe for this or that, and then that's where the law comes into place. That's probably why copyright law was uh, created in the first place. I gotta look into that. But on default, the problem is on default, everything that we create is copywritten. It belongs to us on default. As soon as you created Enigma, that was yours, right? But that still
Mhm.
doesn't stop people from building a machine or program that scours the internet for artwork and then absorbs it into their thing. I think it was something that came out recently about Meta or some other tech company that was doing that illegally behind the scenes, and they were taking people's photos and information and data and feeding it into their algorithm in their program. So it's like there's no regulation yet. There's no regulation on any of this. People can do whatever they want as long as they have the means to do so. They will do it. That's the
That's
unfortunate
something
thing.
that I kind of I need to uh, get some legal answers on that because I just it seems like there has to just kind of be a just it has to get to a point where you just cannot you can't do that. Like I've seen stuff like that happen like on a smaller scale already where people have essentially pulled people's artwork and created like an AI fan art of it, but it was essentially just kind of like their piece, that same piece, just but it looked like it went through a blender first, and they tried to just like smooth it out and smooth it back down to to flat, and but it you could tell it was the same thing. And I've kind of spoken to people who are in like a more legal space, and they were like, "Yeah, you can't really do that because that's their piece, and they can't pass it off as their own. Like it belongs to this artist, so this other AI person can't come back and say like, "Hey, this is mine. This is my interpretation of it," because it's the exact same thing. You just like you literally just copied it, just sloppier. So I just I don't know. That's something that I kind of want to maybe potentially get some legal advice on. because I just feel like there's just no way out they could be able to do that, especially if it starts getting to like a bigger scale, like Nickelodeon making their own Mickey Mouse, because that's really gonna be a problem.
Yeah, this is where I encourage a lot of artists to do some reading and research, some R&R. That's the most important thing about everything on this planet, everything in this universe, reading and research. Because you don't want to be the person that sees something and reacts to it and makes a post and you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't know all the details or whatever the case may be. I think it's very important to learn about copyright law, learn about what's going on with AI and how they're using it in the world of art and how it's being utilized to uh, take jobs. It is taking jobs. I know some people are hyperbolic. I think that's the way you say it, hyperbolic on the internet about it. But I have seen actual stories from individuals who lost their jobs because their company started using AI. There was a guy who worked at a video game company. He was doing design for them, and they basically took all his work, everything that he's ever created, put it in their thing, whatever they purchased from whatever company, and they were able to recreate what he does faster. So they were like, "Oh, we don't need you." So they dropped him. So these things are happening. And I think it's just there has to be, what needs to happen is regulation. There needs to be protections for employees of companies, protections for artists, so that these things cannot just happen willy-nilly. That sucks to work for a place for years, to be considered one of the top ranking designers for that company. And they're like, "Oh, you know what, Fred? You know what happened was we got, the AI thing to do it. So we don't need you no more. Don't worry about it."
Mhm.
That sucks. That sucks. Hopefully that person's doing well, because the last time I saw that video, when I saw that video, it was like maybe 6-7 months ago. So hopefully he's doing all right. But it is happening. So everybody definitely just research, read, prepare, and get yourself situated so that, if you going through it or somebody else going through it, you know what's going on. Honestly. Because it's at this point it's no longer like funny. Because before, people were like, "Oh, look how bad this looks. Look how funny this is. Oh, this is never going to be considered anything." But now it is capable. We can't sit here and be like it looks horrible, because some of the stuff is actually good enough for the average person to be like, "Oh, this is dope. Oh man, I want this. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna do that. Blah 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 blah. I don't need to go to Fiverr. I don't need to go to this artist. I don't need to hire Morgan. I don't need to hire Hab, because now AI is capable of doing this." Same thing with music. There's a lot of AI music programs out now that people are using in place of hiring an actual producer or composer, or letting go that producer or composer in favor, just like with that designer. It's insane. So we can't keep joking about it no more, because we're past that point. Companies are actually using it in commercials. Coca-Cola, was it Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Coca-Cola used it in a commercial.
Oh
And then
God,
there are
that
going to
was
be a lot of people
terrible.
that are fooled by it. Luckily, my parents are very smart, and they know when things are AI at this point. I'm glad, but not everybody's going to be like that.
So yeah, that's bad. It is bad, and it's getting a little worse. I'm just sometimes I'm just kind of just praying that it balances itself out at the very least, and just hoping that something gives to some extent where they kind of realize they need more human hands, um, than just these little weird AI things can give them.
I don't think that's happening anytime soon, because we're now getting to a point where automation, AI, and robotics are becoming more popular. We're getting to a point where we're seeing the stuff that's happening in the movies that we watch is going on. They're building robots and machines, and I'm going to give a counterpoint to this, but they're building robots and machines, and they're using AI programs to be more efficient, and they're letting go a lot of people. So I don't think it's going to balance out, because we're just at the beginning. But maybe 5 to 10 years from now, we might see it even out. Maybe it gets to a point where it's like, oh, we might need people on site to even work on the robot, so maybe more jobs can be created then. But at this point, I don't see it slowing down, and I don't think there's anything that we can do in this moment to halt it, because it's going to keep happening. I mean, there's video game companies using AI voice actors. There's video games. I mean, there's big studios using AI to animate. You know, there's different things happening in every sector of the art world, and don't even get me started in blue collar work and everyday life stuff. You know, the only counterpoint I will
Mm.
say is that an alternative which I've seen. There's this YouTuber named Dami Lee. She's very intelligent. She's an architect, but she also talks about things outside of architecture, like robotics and stuff. So there was a video she put out, and there's a cafe in Japan that has robots in it, but the robots are actually remotely operated for people that are disabled that can't get jobs. So they work remotely through the
Um,
robots, and it's like there's one big it's crazy. It feels like it's out of a movie. There's one big robot that can pour the coffee and drinks, but it's piloted by a person. The person speaks through it and everything. There's another one that's like a little waitress, and she like come takes your order. And there's another one that sits at the register and does the money. So it's like that's the way I can see the synthesis of the two things. If it benefits the lives of people instead of hinders it, if it allows people to live normal lives and enhances their experiences without it taken away, I'm all for that. I think that's the perfect blend.
well, here's hoping that's what it comes to, or with something like that, some semblance of that.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna lighten it
'Cause,
up though. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, I was just about to say, people already be struggling with the self checkout, so I can imagine that. I can
Yo,
imagine that we would still need people to be
the
there.
self checkout is so stupid. It is the antithesis of what the self checkout is, because you and I can handle it fine. But then we got to think about the elderly or the technologically inept. There are a lot of people that I go to the store, I go to CVS or the supermarket or wherever else, and they go like, "Oh, I need assistance." They press the button. You just defeated the purpose of self checkout. If somebody has to interact with you, if a human has to come and press a button for you or do anything, you defeated the purpose of self checkout. That's so it's redundant. Redundant. If it doesn't benefit everybody, it's redundant. But we're gonna lighten the mood because I can see you looking kind of sad. So we're gonna lighten the mood.
No,
You're like
okay.
wah wah.
No, no, I'm fine.
No, you're good. I'm just
Um,
messing with you. But we're gonna talk about we could talk about Abbott Elementary, okay? Because that's one of my
oh,
favorite
my favorite
shows.
show.
Jinx, you owe me a soda. Knock on wood. I like a. What y'all got down there? I want a Louisiana soda.
You want a cold drink?
Yeah, give me a cool drink.
Yeah.
Give me a cool drink.
Oh, you love messing with me, huh?
Yeah, it's fun. Favorite hobby. But no, did you see you saw the new episode? You caught up?
I did.
Okay.
You didn't see I was talking with you about it on
Oh yeah,
the
we did. I
thing.
forgot about that. How do you feel about Ava's character? Do you think that she's finally coming out of her shell, or you think this is just more of kind of just seeing glimpses of it and then she just goes back to normal?
She seems like she's kind of been coming out of her shell for a couple seasons, honestly.
Mhm.
Because when she first started on that job, she was just like, "Oh, well, I caught the superintendent cheating on his wife, and I needed a job, and I wanted to be the principal because I wanted to make more money." So, but now you actually see now she actually has a care for the kids. Like she's going out of her way to find ways to make school life easier for them. Like they had that whole episode where Gregory was like, the kids acting up in class, send them to the principal's office. And Ava was like, no, we're not gonna, try to embarrass them. We're here to help the children. We're here to supply their needs and give them things that they need while they're in school. And then you see her doing other stuff like this season, like she's doing all this crazy Ava stuff, and it'd be like scammy, but it's ways that she's helping the school. Like she's like, blackmailing the people that are at the golf course or whatever so she could get new computers and all that. And then the kids need that. And it's still within Ava's character. Like she liked to do crazy stuff. She liked to kind of get over on people, but she's doing it for the right reasons. And she's doing it because she knows that, you know, the district is not going to help them Um, and the school system itself, it's not really built to actually support the students. So, she's just kind of doing what she got to do. She's just hustling for the kids, and she's doing it for a good cause. And I feel like we saw glimpses of that like early on, like in season one, but I feel like now she's kind of coming out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that last episode, honestly, I always liked Ava, but I think that was one of my favorite Ava moments when she finally, not finally, but when she stood up and offered all those things for the rest of the schools, right? And
Hmm.
it shows that she's grown so much as a selfless character because like you said before, when we first met her, she felt more individualistic. She was just there to do the job, get paid, go home, have the little bit of power that she had. But now it's like she's using that power for good because Abbott is the favorite of the board of the district rather. So why
Hmm.
not help benefit everybody else? And that showed to me also going and kind of touching on what we talked about earlier, how problematic a lot of what's happening in the school system is, like how problematic a lot of things are in the school system, where like there shouldn't be a Hunger Games style situation where people have to come up and do a whole speech to get supplies for the kids, resources
Yeah,
for the
it should just be
kids.
a given.
Yeah,
It,
like that blew my mind. It pissed me off that whole episode. I was like, what is happening right now? Like literally they want computers, they want supplies, they want updated books. Y'all can't do that, y'all can't provide that, but you was going to give Abbott everything is crazy. You know what I mean? But other than that, like I thought that was a really fun. Like every episode has just been really brilliant this season, and I feel like we've seen a lot of evolution of so many different characters. Even with Jacob standing up for the kids and him getting in front of the board and saying what he had to say, I thought that was great. I love that we see a lot of what Gregory is doing now is the antithesis of what he was in the very beginning. He was very stoic, reserved, didn't show emotion. Like the episode where he ate the food and he was going crazy, like, "Oh my god, I love these mushrooms. This is good. Wow, this is
oh,
this is amazing."
that was my favorite episode.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think
The
that was the one he.
with the trouble.
Yeah, yeah,
He was, oh my gosh, he was a trip. That was the one you said he directed or something, huh?
yeah. I think it was that one or
Man,
the
that
one
was
before
something.
that. I mean, the one after that one. But like, I love that he's even becoming a better communicator. You know what I'm saying? He's not as quiet as he used to be, and that's because of Janine. You know, and I just think that this show is such a beautiful moment in time because we're seeing because it's a black show, but it's also a black show that everybody can get down with. Right? It's not like Blackish where Blackish
Mhm.
was trying to preach to you every time, and it was specifically engineered to like be preachy and teachy to white people. Abbott is just a show about people. Black people are there, but it's not like they're trying to do anything specific. They're telling their stories, but it's so subtle that people are not even realizing like, oh shoot, I just learned something. Because in Abbott, you remember not Abbott. We remember in
Mhm.
Blackish, they'd be like, "Well, guess what? Back in 1962, a black man, blah 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 blah." On Abbott, it's just like, no, look at the disparity here. We go to the golf club, and he's using the kids to be a promotion for their facility. Oh, we're
Yeah.
volunteer. We're not volunteer. We're charity. They're a charity case. But no, the last episode really loved it. What were some moments that really stuck out to you besides the Ava thing?
On the last episode,
Yeah, on the last episode.
I'm really stuck on the Gregory and Janine storyline. I just thought it was really cute.
It is.
I know it wasn't really preaching anything, but it was, and then it was funny because it still had like this silly Janine moment. Like she's grown a lot to where she's like not being so ridiculous, but it was still like she's running around in the bathroom. Can you guys? I don't know who you are, but can you please interpret this message for me? Because this is kind of weird, huh? Because my boyfriend wouldn't say I love you over a voice note, would he? Barbara, can you help me? Because just can you listen to this? I just need an opinion. And it's still like, classic Janine shenanigans, but it was cute. And then they kind of had their little moment together with their little smoothie thing.
Yeah, I thought that was smooth though. I love that little last moment. He was like, "Cause I do." I was like, oh snap, there you go, there you go. I was like, that was smooth as hell. That made her whole day. She melted. As soon as he said that she was gone, that's why she was like, you want to go to Bone Town? He was like, yep.
Oh my god.
But no, I love that. I love the way they're written. I really hope that they don't. I like where they're at right now, and I want them to keep on this trajectory. I don't want them to write it so it's like one of those things where they break up and then they come back together and then like the final season they get married. Just keep them on the same course, have them just go smooth. Like we already got here. We don't need any extra awkwardness. Don't bring in no strange exes. Don't have somebody get hurt. Don't do nothing. Just have a good time. This is the Sesame Street of black comedy. Let everything be nice and calm and chill. Please. Please, because I'll be upset if something happens and they break up or they make her to be the crazy jealous girlfriend or he becomes this or whatever. Like just keep it on track. So Quinta, if you're watching, which I'm sure you are, don't mess it up.
I'm still beefing with Vince Staples.
What Vince Staples do?
He was in the show, he was dating Janine.
Yeah, but he gone now. We ain't thinking
And
about him.
no, look, she was about to. I remember it was like the episode where they was about to confess or whatever, and to each other, her and Gregory, and he came back and was like making remarks about how she treated him when they were together, which was understandable, but it threw her completely off to the point where she was like, "Yeah, I like you, but we can't date because I have to work on myself." And I was like, "No, you ruined it because we were waiting for this moment. We wanted them to get together, and now we had to wait like all this time for it to happen." Which, you know what, whatever. It's great. They're together now, and we have so many sweet moments. But I think I'm still mad about it, and I would like him to not make any more show.
I'm fine with him coming back. Just don't make it a thing between him and Janine, which I don't think they will. I think they closed that off immediately as soon as that happened and he left. I think that was good. Same thing with Tyreek. Like Tyreek doing he don't even blink twice at Janine no more.
He's
He in
Oh
his
my
own world.
gosh, actually, he's so funny.
Yeah.
You know what? That was actually one of my favorite episodes this season where he was doing the PTA meeting.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. The cold open alone on a ringworm episode.
Oh
That
my god.
was it was so funny.
They're insane. And I love that everybody has a place. Even Tyreek, right? We thought once he broke up with Janine, we weren't going to see him no more. But I love the fact that they allowed him to have a space in the school. So he's part of the PTA and he's actually doing something beneficial with his life. So we already see character development right there. Everybody is growing in some way, shape, or form. And I love that about Abbott.
Mhm.
And I hope Abbott lasts for at least 2 to 3 more seasons. Maybe we get a movie special, maybe another crossover, and then we wrap it up. Because the longer it's on, the riskier it gets. The longer it's on, the more scared I am of something happening, somebody coming in and trying to manipulate or whatever. But I love the show. Everybody should watch it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites right now.
Yeah. There's another show though, because we're gonna wrap up soon. There's another show that I really enjoy that I put you on to, Common Side Effects. I don't know if you saw the latest episode of that, but
I did.
I
I actually watched it today. So it's kind of fresh right now.
yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about this show. It's something new. It's different. I love the art style. It's like it kind of reminds me. Remember the video games where you had the big head cheat code on the character?
What?
Remember when you play a video game and they have like the big head cheat code so to make the character's head big?
Oh,
So looking at them,
yeah.
that's what it looks like, and it's so funny to me, but I love it. And it's like it's such a fresh show. It's not the typical like adult cartoon aesthetic where everybody looks like Rick and Morty. You know what I mean? So I love that.
Mhm. Yeah, I always like when an adult show kinda does something a little different because it either looks like Rick and Morty or Family Guy for the most part.
He really do. There's too many shows that look like that. I don't know why. I guess maybe it's easier to animate, costs less money. But I just feel like there should be a
Mm.
diverse aesthetic going out because it's like every show should not be looking like Adventure Time and Rick and Morty and Family Guy. Because now you got people who be like, "Oh, everything that's made in America looks like this," and it's like, I get it, but yeah. But Common Side
Yeah,
Effects is
just
great.
because 'cause we're grown, don't mean we just wanna see the same stuff over and over. We like some variety, we like some different things.
Yeah. And for those who haven't watched it yet, Common Side Effects is a really great show that just came out on Adult Swim 2 weeks ago, and it's a drama, but there's a little bit of humor in there. But it's a drama about the pharmaceutical industry. So basically, the premise is that this guy who's a mycologist, he finds this mushroom that has these really magical like properties. It's not a magical show, but the potency of this mushroom, it can cure anything. So if you get shot in your head and you eat this thing, it's going to fix it. If you pass out from a seizure, it's going to cure your seizure. If you have any other illness, anything you can think of, it will fix it for you. So he finds this thing, and the premise is that he's trying to push it out into the world, and the government is trying to stop him. Big Pharma is trying to stop him, and it's actually really exciting. It gets me on the edge of my seat every episode. I'm just like, he gonna die? I'm just sitting there like somebody about to get him because he don't know no kung fu. He can't shoot a gun. Like, how is he still alive? That's all I want to know.
Well, we technically know how he's still
Well,
alive.
yeah. Spoiler warning, but yeah. I'm hoping they're able to produce multiple seasons of it, unless they only want to do one season. But so far, I really think it's one of the best things I've seen in a while. Also, executive produced by Mike Judge, who was the creator of King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead. You ever seen those?
Anime? Oh, me? Yeah, I have.
You're like,
I thought you were still going and just talking. I didn't realize you was talking to me. But yeah, I
yeah, I'm
have.
talking to you. That's what
So
we sitting here doing. We've been doing this for almost 2 hours. I'm talking to you.
look, I mean, because you kind of be just going on sometimes,
Wow,
and
so you're
I
saying I'm talking too much. All right, I see how it
no,
is.
it's just,
Listen, listen, listen. From now on, I'm just gonna speak like Gambit. From now
no,
on, I'm
don't
gonna
do
send you voice
that. Don't
notes.
do that.
Gonna make a name for myself. I'm gonna give me a
No, oh
cool drink and make
Lord.
a name for myself.
I should
Oh my god.
I should have never taught you cold drink.
I knew about that word. They
What you
say that
mean?
they say that on TikTok. People be saying that.
On TikTok. That should educational reference point.
Yeah, for all the New Orleans, Louisiana Creole
And
slang and language. Yeah.
they ain't teach you how to pronounce the name of the city though, huh?
Well, listen, I grew up in the East Coast, all right? So all we know is New Orleans, all right? So tell me how to say it so I don't disrespect your ears no more.
Different. It's New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I said before, ain't it? When I said it earlier before
No,
we
you
started?
said
Oh, I said
you said
Nolans.
New.
That's what
Yeah,
I
no, that's
said.
no.
um, but yeah, Common Side Effects is dope. Abbott Elementary is dope. I can't think of nothing else that's out right now. Nothing. Oh, did you go see Captain America already?
No, I'm seeing that next week.
Next week? I might go. I might go. I'm not
You
sure.
should. You gotta support Captain Creole.
Captain Creole is crazy. That sounds like something they would have made in the 90s and it would have been so stereotypically bad. I'm
But
Captain
he's
Creole,
Creole.
baby. I won't give me a cold drink. That's what exactly what he would have sounded
Oh
like. They would have
my
got somebody
god.
from Canada voicing him. It would have been awful. He probably would have been light skinned. It would have
Oh
been
yeah,
Micah
yeah,
Ealy. It
no.
would have been Micah Ealy. Directed by Tyler Perry.
Oh god.
Have you seen the popcorn buckets they got for that?
Yeah, those are so nice. I don't know if I can get one while the theater
They're
out
like
here don't be having them.
$50. There's one
I'm
that's a
coming out
shield,
here.
and the shield at the excuse me, big money. All right. See, y'all can't see it, but it's cropped, but y'all can't see it. But she got some figurines. She got a big old Sailor Moon and Shishamaru figurine. So she got big money. Don't let that white wall fool you. Okay. She from the Ninth Ward.
Okay.
All right. She got that money.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're doing a lot right now.
But no, the one popcorn bucket is the shield, but underneath when you flip it, it's a collapsible popcorn bucket, so it comes up. That one's really cool. The other ones are kind of weird. Like one is like the Hulk, and like his back opens up and the popcorn goes in his back. There's another one where
Mm.
it's like the shield with wings and there's like the bucket behind it. But I think it's so interesting that like this has become a trend now. I don't remember who started it. I think it might have been Dune. I think it was Dune. And ever since then they just been going crazy with the popcorn buckets. Because we had Sonic
Mm.
popcorn buckets, we had Beetlejuice, we had what was the other movie? There was another movie that had it, but I'm just like, dang. Oh, Spider-Man had one. Everybody was going crazy for that one because it was like his head, Miles Morales, in the Spider-Man mask.
Um,
And you could wear that one.
I
People could
didn't
wear
see
that
that.
one. Yeah. So I'm like, okay,
Oh,
this is the
that's
new way
interesting.
to spend our money frivolously. But to each their own. I'm not judging. You know, it's cool. If you want a Captain America popcorn bucket shield that you're only going to use once and then put it on your shelf, who am
Yeah,
I?
it's gonna go on my uh Black Power shelf.
Your Black Power shelf?
Let's see, I got Captain Creole, I got Spider Bite, I got Miles.
Okay.
So yeah, he could go up there.
Okay.
Little popcorn bucket. Captain Creole popcorn bucket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I might go see it. I don't know. I know you're gonna see it. You should go to what's going on here? A bunch of papers just fell. I think my FBI agent trying to give me a signal.
Oh, it's the White Shadow.
Yeah, it's the White Shadow. But yeah, I think we're in a good place with Marvel now. I think people are slowly getting back into it. I love the fact that we have a black man at the center of the Marvel universe right now, right? And I think that the fact that he's also from New Orleans. No, I mean, excuse me, New Orleans.
We just talked about this like
New
just
Orleans.
a few
Listen, I
minutes
just
ago.
learned it. I just learned it, Morgan.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God. I say it the right way like every time.
don't mean I'm listening.
And you're not listening to what I'm saying. I've been talking this whole time.
But no, I love. I always listen to you. But no, I love the fact that we're at this place where we're kind of restarting the Marvel universe, right? We got Captain America, who's now black. We got the Fantastic Four coming back. We got all these really new and fun individuals and these new characters. I think this might be the new renaissance of Marvel because they're not going to stop it anytime soon. They're going to keep this thing going until we got our kids
Mhm.
have kids have kids.
I make that money.
Yeah. But Morgan, thank you so much for coming through today and talking about all these topics. I always appreciate your insight, your knowledge, and your artistry. The piece that we worked on is very beautiful. Enigma, I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. I'm going to
Oh,
keep pestering you about her. I'm like, where's she at? Where's she at? Where my
uh,
niece at? You know, so keep
your
drawing her.
niece.
Yeah, everybody keep pestering her on social media, please. All her social media will be in the description below. But we're gonna get up out of here for today. So until next time, make sure keep yourself safe out there and stay woke. I guess people still say that, right?
Yeah, stay woke.
Power to the people, all the people. Y'all, I really want to thank y'all for watching the entire episode. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments below. Let me know your opinions, your thoughts, anything that triggered you, anything that made you happy, anything that made you laugh, anything that made you smile or angered you. Let us know. Give us some feedback in the comment section below, for real, for real. And happy Black History Month. We back. We here. We are here. We're trying to put out an episode every week, but sometimes that's just not how it goes. But I do want to have something up at least once a week. So make sure you show some love in the comments so we can get more folks up in here. If you got some recommendations, let me know too. And if you would like to take this support even further, consider signing up to our Patreon. Shout outs to all our Patreon members, our YouTube members, and all of our benefactors that help support this program and keep it going. Join the Patreon today. Join the YouTube channel, YouTube membership today. All the support goes back into the Art Block and all the other Habtoons projects. So get on it. Let's grow this community. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care. We out.